Hi bookworms! So today I thought I'd make a very quick video with barely any editing because I completely forgot that August was Women in Translation Month, and I usually try to do a post about the books I recommend, books I want to read. Realistically speaking, I don't think I can do a TBR at all. I already have like at least 2 next books set up after I finish The Odyssey, which I need to finish ASAP because I want to go see it, and I'm watching it the way Christopher Nolan intended it, which is IMAX 70mm. So I have to finish it. I don't have to, but I want to finish it, and I'm like barely halfway through, and it's a chunkster of a book. So anyways, regardless, all that to say, I cannot have an actual TBR for next month. I really have at least 2-3 books set up. Mainly also, I kind of wanted to do a mini summer ween thingy for myself, just to have like a little whimsy and fun, and like I love autumn and I really enjoy Halloween, so for me I think I want to do that and maybe focus more on horror books. So all that to say, which by the way doesn't mean I can mix it up. I can definitely read women in translation that have written horror, which is one of those that I want to talk about here, and she'll definitely make my TBR list, but it's just not exclusively gonna be that. Anyways, I want to talk about my recommendations. So what I did basically to do this video, I went to my red bookshelf and I picked up all the books by translated women that stick out to me, that I really enjoy, that I could easily recommend. Now most of them, if you know me at all or have seen, like, follow my Instagram, you know these books. I've mentioned them a few times, but I feel like I still gonna give them a shout out, show them some love. And in the case that you don't know about them, because maybe you don't, you know, maybe just some genres or like something that's more niche that might be out there, or like you heard about an author, you're not sure, I'm here to like nail it to you. Yes, you have to pick it up. So that's basically pretty much what I did. So there's really no rhyme or reason here right now. I have like my books that I really want to talk to you about. And actually let me start with this pile because it's way smaller. So some recent reads, actually these are actually more recent reads that I've read last year, and the last year at least. First one is This Is Not Miami by Fernanda Melchor. This translated from Spanish. This is her short story collection. I really like her short stories. I have read her other books, for example, Pajade. That one might be a little too out there for me to recommend, and I also don't own it, and I'm just talking about books that I own. But this one, this short story, I know it's not for everyone, short stories, but anyways, I really love these short stories. Yes, they're on the darker side, but they're not horror. This is not what it is. It's just dramatic and a little bit horrific, and they're all set, I think they're all set in Veracruz in Mexico. I just really like her tone. I like her writing. I think it's just like sometimes very unsettling, but just so good. And if it can give you like a little bits and pieces of her writing before you like plunge into Pajade, and I don't know what's the other one, Hurricane Season, I think, yes, which I haven't read, that I really want to read. But yes, I really recommend this one. I really like this author and her writing. The other one that the writing is just like peak to me is Dalia de las Cerdas, Reservoir Bitches, which I read last year. One of my favorites. I can recommend it to everyone. Again, short stories, which you'll see a theme. I really like short stories. This also dark, bleak, but with a great 10 out of 10 voice. They're mainly, if not all, female main characters in the short stories, but we're ranged from like different, what would I say, situations, different ages. So there's such a diverse cast that you get, and I think they're all set in Mexico, this one too. It's just so fun. Like the voices of these characters is just so fun to read, and you just go around the ride for them, and they're slightly connected towards the end, so that's kind of a fun bit if you don't totally like the fact that in short story collection they can be like completely disconnected. But like I get the critique, I understand some people not liking that, but in this case there is some kind of connections here and there, which is always fun. But yes, I really want to read her next one, which is something Sang Mi Ha Corrido. I really want to get my hands on it and read it because I love her writing so much. And yes, so highly recommend this one. Assume that I highly recommend all of these because I feel like I'm gonna repeat myself a lot in this video. Next, well, do we continue on short stories? We could, why not? The other author that I really love, and I own almost all her books, and this is the one that I'm telling you that I kind of want to put in my TBR because she writes horror, is Mariana Enriquez, which I have 2 books. And are they both signed? I definitely know I got one signed, which I don't remember which one. I think it's this one. I think it's my paperback. Yes. Got my paperback signed. It was so exciting. She came here in Montreal, so that was really fun. Yes, I can only highly recommend if you're looking for a horror Latina author. These are her short stories, but she also has novels, which are the ones that I'm planning on reading. And if I look at my shelf, oh, where is it? Anyways, I'll put it here. I know there's a chunker of one. It really intimidates me, but I really want to get into. And having read the Odyssey, or like reading the Odyssey, it made me really like nostalgic to read bigger books. I used to read bigger books more often, but I kind of got intimidated by them really quickly. So now that I did my toe back with the Odyssey, I kind of want to fully dive back in. And like that one is one that I wanted. I don't remember what the name is, but when I tell you it's a chunkster, it is. But yes, I really love her. It's so fun. Her horror stories, I don't know. I read a post somewhere that it was more like, I don't even know what they called it. See, I used to call it like the real life horrors, aka reality is sometimes darker and weirder than fiction. It is fiction, but you know what I mean. It's like it's more of a commentary, or like things that are happening but taking it a little further, or things that are happening with a twist, with a magical realism aspect, or just brought like to like just crank it up if it was a worst case scenario. And I just those are like the harsh realities, you know. And to have them written in this horror voice, I think it's so interesting. I really love this author. Will always recommend her. Another one that I really like is Agustina Basterisca. I only have The Unworthy because I got the ARC that I tabbed a lot. I really enjoyed it. But I actually really like Tender is the Flesh, which I guess for some it's a hit or miss. It depends on what they want as a resolution. I feel like it was more of like I said, like a crank up of something that could have been like a lot at past, or things that people are discussing, but taking it to like the extreme. It's not necessarily meant to be like a super delved into situation with every little details all tied in. I really like her. The Unworthy was a second good. Like if you've read Tender is the Flesh, definitely pick up The Unworthy. If you haven't read her yet, I would pick up Tender is the Flesh, because I don't know. I don't think either are easy. They're both horrors. They're both like this is more post-apocalyptic. The other one is more dystopian, if you can, you know, there's like a nuance there. But yes, they're both pretty dark. But yes, I really like her writing too. I really enjoyed her. This is, oh, I haven't even said it, but so far they've all been translated from Spanish. But yes, I really like her. And I have another one. I think it's her short story. I have her short story collection. I liked it less. I own it, but I'm not gonna recommend it to you, especially because I have other short story collections that I actually enjoy most of the stories, if not all. So this one, I would say for her, what works for me is the novels. Like the novels really work for me, and her writing and her storytelling. That's what I'm recommending to you. 10 out of 10. Love this. And then the other one is Samantha Schweblin, also translated from Spanish. And I only have Fever Dream from her. I think I read, if not all, most of her books. Oh, sorry, this is backwards. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, what's happening? my god, it's like I'm living my own fever dream. It's crazy. Anyways, this is a novella that I really enjoyed. I would say it's those kind of books that you want to read in one sitting. It's so short also, like you could finish it. It's less than 200 pages. It is written, I have no idea if it's gonna focus, but it's written really like lots of space, not a lot of words on the page. So yes, if you can, I would really recommend it on one sitting. And you're just spiraling. You're just spiraling with this person, not sure what's going on, but you're in it for the ride. You're curious about how is it gonna end. And that's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yes, I really liked it. I also read her short story collection. I think I would recommend it. I have read them like way before, and because I don't own them, like I'm not getting a picture right away of what they are. But yes, I would recommend it for sure, this one, just because it was such a fun ride. Like honestly, I was not expecting it to literally be a fever dream and almost like a stream of conscience type of thing, but not really, because there are some dialogues, but like you're still in her head. Anyways, it's just, that was really entertaining. If you want a short entertaining book that's just a little crazy out there, yes, this is really fun. I'm gonna include this. I don't know that I'm not sure if it's translated in English. I'm gonna look it up. I hope it is, because I really love this book. It's called Ces Mauvaises Femmes by Maria Hesse, which was translated from Spanish. And it's just such a beautiful book. And it's, I guess, a non-fiction in a way about all these different characters. They're like little essays, but like illustrated. So for example, there was a lot, actually it made me laugh because there is some Greek mythology being spoken about. Then there's like, you know, the Disney princesses, Snow White, I want to say Tangled, but no, Rapunzel. And yeah, so it has the illustrations too, which I really appreciate. I really like. And like, for example, we do talk about like the Pandora box type of myth, and like we have other myth that she explores, and I really like it. It's kind of a critique. I would say it's one of those feminist books that I could easily recommend because they're easy reading, and it's mostly about how we're blaming women / the role that women have played in history, whether it's in real history or just historical characters like from fiction and everything. So yes, it was really interesting. I really liked it. I have to say, I am a sucker also for like illustrations, and you know, there's like Meryl Streep, Devil Wears Prada, so that's really fun. I rewatched the second one a few days ago. I love that kind of campy movie. And yes, I really liked it. Like the range is like pretty, again, we went from like Greek stuff to like Billie Holiday we talk about, so I really like her. I'm gonna put it there if there's an English one. I really hope so. But yes, I really enjoyed this one. Then another one that I'm pretty sure it's translated, I actually am like 100% sure they're translated into English, is all of Kim Thuy's books, which I have them all. I don't have the play that she did, which is And yes, I'm so happy because I remember seeing her at Salon du Livre, and I think it was Man that I got signed. It was so fun. I was so shy, guys. I'm so bad at meeting authors, and like en plus I tabbed it, so she was like, oh, what did you tab? And I'm like, oh, okay, no, let me just crawl into a hole, because I don't want you to know my inner thoughts, and I don't want you to think that my inner thoughts are stupid. But anyway, no, she was super nice, and like she read all the quotes that I tabbed, which thank God were only 4. But yes, one of them, she was like, oh yeah, it's my favorite. Actually, didn't even realize it was on the back cover, or like in a, I don't know. And she said her editor also really liked that quote and put it somewhere. And then the other quote that I really liked was like, oh, this is also my favorite quote. So then I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, it's just, those things make me so nervous. Meeting author makes me so nervous. I'm so bad at it. I would highly recommend any of her books. She has such a beautiful writing. I can only assume that her translation would be as beautiful as her original writing. But yes, if you want a Canadian Vietnamese, from like Vietnamese immigration, writer, author, and discover her, I feel like this is what's fun about living in Montreal. Or like, if you want to read from Canadian authors, you can read from authors of such different backgrounds. And I feel like, to me personally, it's peak literature to like to find an author whose experience I can relate to from far or near, and because they're so niche, right? Like it's not just she's not just Vietnamese, she's Vietnamese that immigrated here, that has that experience that is shown through the books. And I feel like that's what's like, you know, there's like a layer to it that I feel so interesting. Actually, that makes a perfect bridge to As the Andes Disappear by Caroline Dawson. I love this. This is just, if you're a millennial or a Gen X that immigrated when you were young or have been born like me, from Chile or any Latin country, but this, like, the author is from Chile, so the experience feels even more personal. From Chile to Montreal, this is just, it's amazing. And to have her writing this such a specific experience and yet so relatable to like a lot of people, I would say, honestly, that are living here or even in Canada or like anyone. I feel like immigration stories are such interesting, or a story told by someone who immigrated also, whether that could not even be the subject of the book, and it's still an interesting point of view. So yes, I really liked it. Tears were a little bit shed, some emotions were felt. I highly recommend it to everyone. I really love this book. She also wrote another one, which I don't know that it's been translated. This is why I'm not mentioning it. Ce qui est tu, but I don't think it's translated. But this one, I know it is. To give you an idea of like what I mean, that it's very relatable. So if you're from Montreal or Quebec, you'll know. One chapter is called Passepartout. One other, I think I saw it here, Le Bonhomme Carnaval. Another is, oh, where was it? I just saw it. Madame Brossard from Brossard. I feel like it's so niche, it's so fun. Je me souviens. Anyways, I really like it. So I would just highly recommend it. And also I really like including books that are written originally in French that are translated in English, especially from Canada and stuff like that. I feel like these are not really talked about a lot. So yes, there's this one. Let's see, these are like miscellaneous one. Let me get this out of the way because I feel like everyone knows My Brilliant Friend from Elena Ferrante. I'm also a sucker for this quartet. I loved it. I read it all. I highly recommend it. That's it. You've heard about it. Like, I'm sure you've read about it. You've read reviews. It's a 10 out of 10. It's about women's friendship and all that it entails. It spans like through all their lives, you know, like from when they're little kids, maybe like, I don't know, 6, to their teenage years, young adults, and then like older. And it's just really interesting. I really love it. The dynamics of it, the conversations, the not conversation between them, just all of that, all happening in like this small village in Italy, but also including the rest of the world, right? Because one travels and stuff like that. It's really fun. Like, and I don't remember in what years this is set in, but that also adds to it, is in the 50s. It begins in the 50s. So we span, again, like, I want to say like 40 years of their lives. And so yes, it's really fun, really interesting. Definitely easy to binge read, honestly. Because I binge read that one a few years ago. Another one I would recommend is The Hour of the Star by Clarice Spector. I just love this edition. I absolutely love it. This is translated from the Portuguese. She's a Brazilian author. And I really liked it. This was very specific. This is one of those classics where it's like, you're not really sure where the story is going, but the writing is so beautiful that you're still like willing to like explore this idea with them. And the point of view was weird. I didn't know we were gonna go from this point of view of like young adult man, but in those years, like, this is not a contemporary, mind you. This is set in, okay, so I don't know where exactly it's like what time it's setting. It was written in the 70s. I'm assuming that it's set in the 70s too. So yes, it's just another time in this area. So there's a lot of like learning about the dynamics there, on top of following this character, that you follow through that lens, that very specific lens that I wasn't expecting. So it's just, that's great writing. I'm sad I haven't picked up anything else by her, because I know she has a lot of other really great books, but I hey, I haven't read any of them and I really love The Hour to Start, so if you have to start somewhere, maybe you start here. Who knows? But yes, I really enjoyed this one. Then I have King Kong Theory by Virginie Despentes. I really love this cover. And I don't know what mindset I was when I read it, because it's been many years, but I tapped the heck out of this book. And I remember really liking it. Like, this is the only, I have barely any memories of the actual text, just because I feel like I flew through it and tapped it and just really loved it. But again, it's been so many years. But this is an author that I actually really want to read more of. This is the only Virginie Despentes that I have and that I read. In my goals is to pick up another one from her. She's, if you don't know, she's from France. She's actually really big, a big name. For a lot of reasons that I will let you Google. But I hadn't heard about her until I picked up this book. And yes, it's been a while, but like, still, I feel like it was such a big name, and I had already been so much in like BookTube and like Bookstagram and like in my libraries and everything. You know, like, I was like really now exploring all the literature, whether it's translated or not, especially in Montreal. I feel like there's a lot of French books that like pass on to here. Not a lot, but the big names, which she is. So yes, I was like a little confused that I hadn't heard about it before, but I'm glad I picked it up. I really liked it, so I would recommend you checking out Virginie Despentes. So I didn't think I would end with this book, but the last book that I have to recommend to you is Stillborn by Guadalupe Nettel. This is translated from Spanish, and this was actually a really good book. I tabbed it a lot again, and I really enjoyed this conversation, if I can say it like that. Is the premise of the story is two friends in their 30s where they were both like absolutely certain they would never have children, which is an okay choice, by the way. But then one of them decides to, like, you know, do the whole operation, gets her tube tied, like has decided that it's not gonna happen, while the other one actually kind of panics and decides that no, actually I do want a child, and changes her mind. And so she goes through it. Unfortunately, it's a very like difficult like pregnancy and like giving birth and all of that, so it's like the whole situation is very complicated. And while they're both living this different decision, it's kind of like how they're still keeping that friendship and keeping talking about this conversation, because I feel like that was a big conversation that they had a lot, you know, like this common denominator of not wanting children and not wanting to go through that. I feel like it's a big thing to bond on. A lot of women are either questioning or are either sure they want to. So I feel like, especially for Latinas, it's not that accepted, I would say, still, to not have children. So this was a very interesting discussion about whether you do or you don't, and like how you go about it. What's really cute is that the one that decides, you know, she had the operation, doesn't want kids, she actually has her neighbor that does have a son, and she's having trouble, like the mom has trouble like dealing with him because he's having some, comment on dit, des problèmes comportementaux, anyways, having some issues that she needs to deal with, and somehow she kind of gets involved in it, not by wanting to, but just because something happens, and now she gets involved and starts kind of caring for this kid. And I think it just goes to show that not because you don't want kids that you don't care about kids. And I think that was her way of like still kind of touching upon it by being like the neighbor's confidant for a moment, and how hard motherhood is, especially because she's a, what do you call it, mère célibataire. Oh my god, ça va pas. I'm gonna call her a solo mom, but I know that's not the term. But yes, mère célibataire. So like all the difficulties of going through that, and she's still like there and being, you know, like an ear and a shoulder to cry on, and to be able to help a little bit by giving her support in a way. But yes, it was very good. I wouldn't read it if you're trying to get pregnant or are in the process of it, just because the fact that her friend, and everything goes well, like, I know it's a spoiler, I don't care. Everything goes well. If you are in this, I can see how this would be very stressful to read, so don't. Like, literally, way before or way after, not during. Don't do this to yourself. This is very stressful reading. I would be stressed. Like, I was reading this and I'm like, I wouldn't want to read this if I was pregnant, because then I'd be freaking out that something's gonna happen or would happen or whatever. And so yes, that's my only warning. But I still really recommend it. The writing was really, really good and the conversations were interesting. I still think it's kind of taboo in Latino, at least in Latino countries. I cannot speak about everything. I feel like here in Canada, it's a little bit more talked about in general. But if I'm like very specific to like my origins, if I can say it like that, it's still not something that people are okay with or have an easy time with. So it's still a hard conversation to have, whether it's with other women, whether it's with men, whether it's with people your age, younger or older. Trust me, there's no easy way of having this conversation. So yes, it's nice to have authors taking upon themselves to write books so you can see other point of views without like having the judgment of that it's your kid, it's your family, it's your next of kin, whatever. You know, there's none of that comes into the judgment. It's just like this character, what she's telling you, her point of view, both point of views actually, you know, like even the third one, you even have the neighbor's point of view. So it's just really interesting. I really appreciate it, and I can highly recommend this book. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, it was a little impromptu, but I really wanted to take a moment to have a book out for this month because I personally think about it every August, and I try always to strive and read translated works because I try to read very diversely. I have to say I have read diversely, but I have not read actually any translated work this year so far, which is a bit of a mess on my part. I know I have a lot on my radar that I want to read. Actually, I have 2 translated works that are in my like want to read this year, but again, it's just 2. I definitely could read a lot more translated books. But yes, here are the ones that I have loved, I can recommend. I'm hoping that next year I have new books to recommend that I've read so many amazing ones that I can recommend you new ones. But if all else fails, this is gonna be an all-encompassing in the last 5 years of the translated books that I really enjoyed and that I own, because there are other ones that I just don't own and are at the library. But actually, wait, that could be my second video. You know what? For next year, if it doesn't happen that I read a lot that it warrants a video, I'll do the ones that I just don't own but still highly recommend, because I'm a big library user. So yes, I could do that. But yes, until then, I hope you have a nice day, happy reading, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. No necesita GPS para saber pa' dónde voy. Yo tengo lo mío, yeah. No estoy pendiente a lo que tú estás haciendo. Que yo no la estoy rompiendo, yeah. Tú mismo te estás mintiendo.